Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago, Bears fans. Let's get to the news all right. Bears fans, buckle up because there's some wild speculation floating around that could really shake up the NFC North and more specifically impact Chicago's ambitions this season and beyond. Rumors are swirling that the Tennessee Titans might be open to trading Jeffrey Simmons, and if this happens, it could be one of the most seismic moves in recent NFL history, especially for a team like the Bears who are looking to build a dominant front and push for a deep playoff run. Now I know what you're thinking. Jeffrey Simmons? That guy is a beast. The Titans, currently struggling at 3-11 and with a cap hit of around $12 million in 2026, are reportedly looking to make some tough decisions as they attempt to rebuild. The whispers suggest that the Titans might be willing to part ways with Simmons in exchange for a couple of second-round picks. The focus for Tennessee is clear. They want to rebuild their offense, especially their quarterback situation, and they see trading Simmons as a way to free up cap space and draft capital. But for the Bears, this could be a game changer. Simmons, a 28-year-old interior disruptor who's been wreaking havoc in the trenches, is the kind of player who can transform a defense. Just look at his 2025 stats: 10, 5 sacks, 28 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for loss, and a PFF grade of 90. 4. That's elite production from a defensive tackle. His run defense grade is 89.6, and his EPA per stop is plus 0.25, which is impressive for someone playing inside. Pressure rate: about 17%, and he faces double teams about 60% of the time, which just shows how much offensive lines have to game plan around him. Simmons isn't just a pass rusher. He's a complete disruptive force, reminiscent of Ndamukong's impact during his prime in Detroit back in the 2010s. For the Bears, adding Simmons would be like dropping a seismic shift right into the heart of their defense. Chicago has been building a solid front, but Simmons would take it to another level. Currently, the Bears have a total of 55 tackles for loss, but with Simmons in the mix, projections suggest that number could soar past 70. The impact on their run defense would be immediate, allowing fewer rushing yards per game, dropping from around 108 yards to potentially under 85 yards allowed. That's a massive difference. Plus, his presence would boost pressures, with an expected increase of about 23%, helping to set up more sacks and force opposing offenses into uncomfortable third-and-long situations. In comparison, the Bears already have some promising interior talent like Andrew Billings, who grades out at 79, 8 on PFF. But Simmons' 17% pressure rate exceeds Billings', and adding him could yield an extra 8 sacks, significantly elevating the pass rush. His ability to contain running backs, reducing their yards per carry from around 3.9 to 3.1, would make life even harder for opponents trying to run against Chicago's front. This kind of upgrade could really turn the Bears into a feared defensive unit, especially in a division where the Vikings and Lions have been flexing their offensive muscles. Let's talk about the broader implications. If Simmons joins the Bears, Chicago's defense could become a true fortress, forcing turnovers, creating havoc behind the line of scrimmage, and setting up the offense with short fields. Considering the current state of the NFC North, with the Vikings still trying to find consistency and the Lions looking like a legit contender, a dominant interior presence like Simmons could be the X factor that pushes the Bears from playoff hopefuls to serious Super Bowl contenders. Now, looking at Tennessee, their defense ranks 25th overall, allowing around 28 points per game. Their run-stop percentage is at minus 19%, which isn't great at all, especially for a team that's trying to rebuild and compete. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl have plummeted to around plus 15.0, far from the days when they were considered a dark horse. If they trade Simmons, it's clear they're betting on their draft picks and cap space to rebuild and retool. But that leaves a gaping hole in their defense, one that the Bears could exploit if they seize the opportunity. And speaking of odds, the Bears, with Simmons in tow, could see their chances of making a deep playoff run skyrocket. In fact, betting lines have started to shift, with some sports books now listing Chicago's Super Bowl odds at plus 700, moving closer to plus 350 after the potential acquisition. That's a huge jump and signifies how much Simmons' addition would be perceived as a game changer. His presence would reinforce the trenches, creating a solid foundation that could support the entire defense. It's no exaggeration to say that Simmons could be the missing piece, the kind of player who elevates the entire team's performance and helps turn Soldier Field into a fortress again. But let's not forget, all of this hinges on whether the Titans are really willing to part ways with Simmons. It's still just speculation, after all. Tennessee's front office has historically been cautious about trading away their star players, especially a player as impactful as Simmons. However, with the team clearly in rebuild mode and the desire to gather draft capital for future picks, the possibility becomes more plausible. The Titans could prioritize their long-term plan over immediate competitiveness, and that's where the Bears can come into play. If they can pull off this trade, it would be a seismic shift in the NFC North landscape and a huge boost for Chicago's Super Bowl aspirations. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Chicago has been steadily improving on both sides of the ball. The offense, led by Justin Fields, is showing flashes of brilliance, and the addition of a disruptive force like Simmons would complement their aggressive style perfectly. Their offensive line is also improving, giving Fields more time to operate, which is crucial because a strong defense and a dynamic offense are the perfect combination for a deep playoff push. The NFC North is wide open, and with the right moves, the Bears can position themselves as the division's dominant force for years to come. Of course, there's always the question of how such a deal would come together. The Bears would have to offer their own draft picks and possibly some young players to entice Tennessee. But if Simmons is available, it's a move worth making. The potential payoff, an elite interior defender, a game changer in the trenches, could be exactly what Chicago needs to elevate their defense to the top tier. Plus, it sends a clear message to their division rivals. The Bears are serious about contending now and in the future, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. So, fans, what do you think? Is this a move that could define the Bears' season? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing Simmons in navy and orange, or do you think Tennessee is asking too much? Either way, one thing is for sure. If this trade happens, it'll be one of the biggest stories in the NFL this year, and it could reshape the NFC North in a way we haven't seen in a long time. The Bears are on the rise, and with the right pieces, they're not just aiming for the playoffs. They're aiming for Super Bowl glory. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. Let's keep the passion alive and continue building this community of Bears fans who believe in the team's potential. Together, we're heading toward a brighter, more dominant future. Bear down.